And as attorney Linda Freeman and I have talked long and hard, uh, Christopher Williams could not have done more things right to be given dignity and equality by Wells Fargo. But yet, he too was denied. And so the first plaintiff you hear from is going to be Mr. Christopher Williams.
Good afternoon. I stand before you with 2 decades of experience in the financial services industry. I worked in the retail banking industry, retail banking. I worked in consumer finance. I worked in the mortgage department. I worked as a business banker and I worked as a private banker where I managed a portfolio of the affluent client base. My name is Christopher Williams. I too was a Wells Fargo bank customer. I had a relationship with Wells Fargo on the deposit side as well as Wells Fargo advisors on their brokerage side. I wanted to access the equity in my home. I applied for a home equity line of credit. I had strong employment, good income, a low debt to income ratio, and a strong equity position in my home. All of the factors that I thought made me a well qualified borrower. I did not consider one factor. I did not consider the color of my skin nor my race when I thought about my qualifications. I applied for that home equity line of credit with Wells Fargo, and they approved it. When we got to the point of pricing, Wells Fargo told me that my rate was going to be prime plus 3 points. My credit score when I applied was 797. Wells Fargo told me my score was 696. I asked them, what is that discrepancy? They were not able to provide me with any reason for the discrepancy in that score, 101 points. So when I asked my processor, I used to work in the business. I know that when I did these lines of credits for well-qualified borrowers, we did them at prime or prime minus something. Do you no longer offer that? The processor said, yes, we do. And I said, then you're telling me that that 100-point discrepancy in my score is costing me 3 points on this mortgage, on this line of credit. And they said, well, yes, we are. Then you have to provide me with the reason for this discrepancy. I declined to do that loan with Wells Fargo. I went across the street to one of their competitors. Same application, same income, same credit score. That lender approved my line of credit for prime minus a quarter. I am with that lender today. What does the impact of that disparate treatment have on people who look like me, black and brown people, by Wells Fargo? Because I know the industry, because of my experience in the industry, I was aware of the pricing that I should have received. For those that were not aware, how many of those loans and lines of credits are on Wells Fargo books right now at that discriminatory pricing? Prime plus 3. There are a lot of places that you can go before you get to 3. Prime plus a quarter, prime plus 1. They go in quarter increments. They went straight to prime plus 3. I declined the loan, the approval from Wells Fargo. I told them that I felt it was discriminatory in their practices. They said they were launching an investigation. They came back to me and told me that they did nothing wrong. There were other, I'll put it in air quotes, they said there were other factors that they considered when approving loans. I asked what those other factors were. They were never able to approve it. I don't mind if you change the rules of the game. Just let me know what those rules are so that I can play them to my advantage. Wells Fargo has a history of discriminatory practices, and I thank you, Ben Crump. I thank all of the attorneys that are here to represent us who are fighting for economic justice for Black and brown people. That's my story with Wells Fargo.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher Williams. Next, and I think about what Attorney Copeland was saying about these interest rates. And I remember Attorney Freeman and Attorney Suzanne Bish talking about it's a subprime interest rate that they're giving to well qualified Black applicants. I mean, does this look like a man who should be paying subprime when he's done everything right? What would they have given to a white customer with his sterling credentials? That is the fight, Attorney Ellis. That is the fight.